They called him the Scourge of God, the man who made Rome tremble, the barbarian king whose name alone emptied cities. He appeared from the east like a storm, conquered everything in his path, then vanished as mysteriously as he came, leaving only ruins and legends behind. Tonight we hunt the truth behind Attila the Hun, the warrior who nearly destroyed Western civilization, the king who died on his wedding night, the mystery that history never solved. This is not the story of a mindless barbarian. This is the story of a military genius who understood one thing Rome had forgotten. Fear is the most powerful weapon of all. 406 AD, somewhere on the Eurasian steppes, a boy is born to the Hunnic people. Nomads, warriors, horse archers from the east. His name, Attila. In the Hunnic tongue, it means little father, but there is nothing little about what he will become. The Huns are not like the tribes Rome knows. They don't build cities, they don't farm. They live on horseback, born in the saddle, raised with the bow. They can ride for days without rest, eat dried meat and drink mare's milk, sleep while riding. Their composite bows outrange anything Rome possesses. They strike at full gallop, circle, feint, retreat, then strike again from a different angle. By the time Roman infantry reaches them, they're already gone. Ghosts on the wind, killing from distances Roman soldiers can't even comprehend. Young Attila learns these skills before he can walk, but he learns something else too. Something that will make him more dangerous than any Hun before him. He learns about Rome. As a young man, he's sent as a hostage to the Roman court, standard practice, insurance for peace treaties. But while other hostages see only luxury and corruption, Attila sees weakness. He watches Roman senators betray each other, generals bought with gold, emperors who can't control their own armies, an empire so vast it can barely govern itself, so divided it's eating itself alive. He sees the cracks in the foundation, and he begins to plan. 434 AD, and Attila's uncle, King Rugila, dies suddenly. Poison, some whisper. By his own nephews, Attila and his brother Bleda inherit the Hunnic Empire. But Attila doesn't share power well. 445 AD. Bleda dies during a hunting accident. Very convenient, very suspicious. Attila becomes sole ruler of the Huns, and immediately everything changes. Previous Hun leaders raided for plunder. Attila raids for empire. He doesn't just steal gold and disappear. He conquers, annexes, controls. He unites the scattered Hun tribes under one banner, then turns to the Germanic tribes they've displaced. Goths, Vandals, Gepids, Ostrogoths, all fleeing the Hunnic advance, all desperate for survival. Attila gives them a choice: join me or die. Most join. Within years, Attila commands not just Huns, but a coalition of dozens of tribes, all moving west, all looking at Rome with hungry eyes. His empire stretches from the Caspian Sea to the Rhine, from the Baltic to the Danube, the largest barbarian confederation in history, and it has one target: Rome. But Attila is not stupid. He doesn't attack Rome's strength, he attacks its weakness. The Eastern Roman Empire, Constantinople, the jewel of the East, the city with walls that have never fallen. 447 AD. Attila's army appears outside Constantinople, not to siege, to negotiate. The Eastern Emperor, Theodosius II, panics, offers tribute, gold, tons of it. Attila accepts, takes the gold, then demands more next year and the year after that. Rome is paying protection money to a barbarian. The empire that conquered the world is being extorted. 450 AD, Attila turns west, toward Gaul, toward Rome itself. But he has a problem. Flavius Aetius, Rome's last great general, the man who actually understands how to fight the Huns. Aetius spent time as a hostage with the Huns as a boy. Just like Attila spent time in Rome. They know each other, respect each other, hate each other. June 451 AD, the Catalaunian plains. Two massive armies meet. Attila commands Huns, Ostrogoths, Gepids. Aetius commands Romans, Visigoths, Franks. This is not Rome versus barbarians. This is barbarians versus barbarians, with Rome hiring one side to fight the other. The battle lasts all day. Blood soaks the plains. Bodies pile so high they block movement. Night falls and neither side has won. Attila retreats to his camp, orders his men to build a funeral pyre from the wooden saddles of his cavalry. If the Romans attack at dawn, he will burn himself alive, rather than be captured, rather than give Rome the satisfaction. But Aetius doesn't attack, lets Attila retreat. Historians argue why. Some say Aetius wanted Attila alive, to keep the Gothic tribes weak, to maintain the balance of power. Some say the Romans were too exhausted to finish it. Whatever the reason, Attila survives. Bloodied, defeated for the first time in his life, but alive and furious. 452 AD, Attila invades Italy itself. This is personal now. City after city falls. Aquileia, Milan, Pavia. The Hun army leaves nothing but ash. Refugees flee south, toward Rome, towards safety that doesn't exist. Pope Leo I hears the reports. The Scourge of God is coming. Rome has no army that can stop him. Aetius is too far away. The Western Emperor Valentinian III is useless. Someone must do something. The Pope decides he will do it himself. Pope Leo I rides north to meet Attila face to face. No army, no soldiers, just priests in faith. They meet on the banks of the river Mincio. What happens in that conversation, history will never fully know. Legend says Leo threatened Attila with divine wrath, reminded him of Alaric, who sacked Rome and died days later cursed by God. History says Leo probably offered gold, lots of it, and reminded Attila that his army was weakened. Disease spreading through the camp, supply lines stretched too thin. Roman reinforcements coming from the east. Whatever the reason, Attila turns back, leaves Italy. Rome is saved by a conversation. The Scourge of God talked out of destroying the eternal city. 453 AD, Attila takes another wife. Ildiko, a young Germanic bride, beautiful, docile, perfect. The wedding feast is legendary. Attila drinks heavily, celebrates his latest marriage, his countless victories, his vast empire. He retires to his bedchamber with his new bride. Morning comes, Attila doesn't emerge. His guards wait, worry. Finally break down the door. Attila the Hun is dead, in his own bed, on his wedding night, drowned in his own blood. A nosebleed, the official report says. Too much drinking, too much celebrating. He choked on his own blood while unconscious. But questions immediately arise. Ildiko is still alive, unharmed, in shock but alive. Was it truly an accident, or murder disguised as one? Some say Ildiko was an assassin, sent by Rome or Constantinople. Others say Attila's own men poisoned him, tired of endless war, wanting to settle, to enjoy their plunder. Others say it was divine intervention, God's punishment for threatening Rome. We will never know. What we do know, Attila's death was convenient for everyone except the Huns. Without Attila, the Hunnic Empire disintegrates overnight. His sons fight each other for succession. The subject tribes rebel, the Ostrogoths, the Gepids, the Sarmatians, all the peoples Attila conquered, rise up. 454 AD, the Battle of Nadao. The subject tribes defeat the Huns decisively. The empire fragments. The Huns scatter back to the steppes, and within a generation, they disappear from history entirely. No Hunnic cities remain because they built none. No Hunnic writings survive because they wrote nothing down. No Hunnic artifacts because they owned only what they could carry. The greatest threat to Rome vanishes like morning mist, leaving only fear and legends, but their impact remains. The Hun invasions pushed Germanic tribes into Roman territory. The Visigoths, who sacked Rome in 410, were fleeing the Huns. The Vandals, who took North Africa, were displaced by the Huns. The Ostrogoths, who eventually conquered Italy, were once Attila's subjects. The Huns didn't destroy Rome. They set in motion the chain of events that would. Attila the Hun didn't end Western civilization. He just pushed over the first domino. 1,700 years later, we still argue about Attila. Barbarian destroyer, or misunderstood statesman, savage warlord, or brilliant military strategist? The truth, as always, is complex. Attila was not the mindless barbarian Rome painted him as. He spoke multiple languages, understood diplomacy, used spies and intelligence networks, played Rome's enemies against each other, but he was also ruthless beyond measure. Killed his own brother for power, destroyed cities as examples, built an empire on terror and tribute. Perhaps the most fascinating thing about Attila is how little we truly know. No contemporary Hun sources survive. Everything we know comes from Roman historians, his enemies, who had every reason to exaggerate his savagery, to make their defeat seem less shameful. We don't even know what he looked like. Descriptions vary wildly: small and swarthy, tall and fierce, beardless, bearded, ugly, handsome. Every account contradicts the next, and his burial site, lost forever. Legend says his warriors diverted a river, buried him in the riverbed, then released the water and killed everyone who knew the location, so his grave could never be found, never desecrated, never robbed. To this day, no one knows where Attila rests, the Scourge of God, keeping his final secret. Attila the Hun ruled for less than 20 years, built an empire that collapsed the moment he died, left almost no physical evidence of his existence, yet his name still resonates across the centuries. Because he proved something Rome thought impossible: that nomads from nowhere could threaten civilization itself, that the greatest empire on earth was vulnerable, that fear could accomplish what armies could not. So I ask you, was Attila a destroyer or a catalyst? A barbarian king or a misunderstood genius? The Scourge of God, or simply a man who understood how to use that title? History doesn't give us answers, only mysteries. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to explore more stories from the Dark Ages, when empires fell and legends were born, subscribe to Dark Ages Chronicles.